First story is titled, Am I the a-hole for getting upset with one of my co-workers who used my sonogram to fool her ex-boyfriend into thinking she was pregnant? Hello everyone, I'm 27 female. My husband and I found out 2 months ago we are expecting our first child. Last week, we officially announced it via text and phone calls to our friends and family. The next day at work, I found out that one of my co-workers had taken the photo of the sonogram I had sent them in the group text. Someone had asked to see it, and posted it on her social media to fool her ex-boyfriend, who she broke up with a few weeks ago, into thinking she was pregnant. I never wanted my sonogram on the internet. I don't have a Facebook, or an Instagram, or anything like that. And I feel extremely uncomfortable that it's out there without me being able to control the audience of who is looking at it. Also, this seems like an extremely cruel trick to play on someone, and she used my sonogram as a prop for this mean joke. When I expressed that I was upset to my co-worker, she said I was being dramatic, and I'm just looking for something to be upset over. She said she covered up all identifying information, and that it was only up for a few hours, and she told her ex-boyfriend the truth after making him sweat for a bit. Are pregnancy hormones making me more upset about this than I should be? Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Absolutely not the a-hole. What in the world was she thinking? This is a huge invasion of your privacy. I mean, I'm not even touching the can of worms of the prank she played on her boyfriend, because holy hell. I'm just focusing on your involvement here. To be completely honest, I'd go to HR about this. But you do you. It's absolutely unacceptable behavior. And frankly, I think it's time to not be on a group chat with her. This is not someone you need having access to your life outside professional boundaries. She took an extremely beautiful, wonderful moment of your life and twisted it for her own sick pleasure. Yes, a visit to HR is totally warranted, and I would definitely keep things strictly professional with her from now on. I'm seeing multiple reasons to never interact with her if you don't have to. Most definitely involve HR. Also in the future, as if you don't already know, keep your cards close to your chest. Not the a-hole. In addition to being a pretty sick joke, that's completely out of line to post someone else's sonogram. I feel bad for her boyfriend. What kind of relationship is built on the foundation of making your significant other sweat for a bit? Jesus Christ. Well, he's probably next for a reason. Not the a-hole. You did not post your child's picture on the internet. It was a horrible joke to play. All you have is her word she took it down. It might still be up. Even if she did take it down, it's possible someone else screenshot it along with her message to show someone else how terrible the coworker treated the ex. Personally, I would get someone to check her webpage to make sure the post was taken down. They contact the ex and explain what happened and that you would like the picture deleted if any of his friends screenshot the picture. Honestly, if she has done something like this in the past, stalking him, he might be trying to get evidence to get a restraining order against her. And there would be your baby's first picture and a police report. Also, never share any pictures of your child again with her. Show them to her, but not via the net. On another note, congrats! May your baby always sleep through the night and rarely cry. Thank you. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for wanting a prenup? I was married for 9 years. We have 2 children, 7 male and 6 female. 3 years ago, after a sudden illness, she passed away. It was the most devastating thing to ever happen to me. The only reason I made it through is because of my kids and needing to be strong for them. I used my wife's life insurance to pay off the mortgage. It's in a beautiful area, excellent schools, and very low taxes. If anything happens to me, I have things set up so that my wife's sister will be our children's guardian and they can remain in the house. I carry enough life insurance that they won't ever lose the home. Shortly after my wife passed, an old girlfriend reached out to offer condolences. She has 3 kids. One is in her 20s, one is a teenager, and one is 3. She was incredibly supportive, cooked meals, helped out with the kids, and was amazing to my family. About a year ago, we both admitted we still had those feelings and started dating again. It's been strange to be with someone again. I don't want to say it's easier, but at the same time, I feel like it would have been much harder to try to meet someone. I don't know if I ever would have gone looking. I still love my wife, and my kids are number 1 in my heart. A few weeks ago, she brought up marriage. I said I wasn't there yet, and she understood. When I thought about it, I sat down with her and explained that everything is set up to provide for my children in the event something happens to me. I told her that I wasn't there yet, but that if we were to get married, I would want a prenup. I told her what I have in place, informed her that the house would go to my children, my life insurance would remain in their names, and any assets I already owned would be exempt in the event of divorce. As she would need to sell her home, I told her that we would write it into the agreement that the money from the sale of her home was hers. She was very hurt and told me that if anything happened to me, she wanted to be the one to raise my children and give them a good life. She told me that she wanted us to have the family that we never got to have because we broke up. I replied that if we got married, I was willing to revisit guardianship, but I can't see budging on assets, at least until they got through college, because I could never forgive myself if their future was in jeopardy. We broke up because she cheated, and while she's told me it was the biggest mistake of her life and showed me she's changed, it's still in the back of my mind. I offered to take out additional life insurance, naming her the beneficiary. She says it's not about forging a partnership, and she doesn't want to feel like a removable guest in the marriage. She's opposed to any prenuptial agreement. Some friends have told me I'm only protecting my children. Others have pointed out that she's been there for me for almost 3 years in whatever way I've needed, and I'm hurting her by putting conditions and everything. Edit, clarifying that she cheated over 10 years ago when we were originally together. I met my wife right after, and we've remained friendly after I forgave her. Not day haul. To be honest, the timing of her reaching out and being so very helpful seems a bit suspicious. Like she maybe saw an opportunity for a nice house for her kids. The fact that she cheated, after the prenup discussion I think, shows her true colors. Not day haul. I'm getting the she who controls the children controls the money vibe from her. You have offered reasonable options to protect her financially in the event of your passing, but she seems to want it all. That right there is a big red flag for me. You nailed it. In her mind, it's maybe their children, so their money's mine now. Absolutely, unequivocally not day haul. You have a duty to your children to protect them and their assets. Second marriages complicate things, so the only right thing to do is a prenup. It's not even about divorce, but also in the case of your death. Sorry, I don't mean to be morbid. Most single parents would agree with us. It's odd to me that she was hurt. If she doesn't want a prenup, you need to ask yourself why. She may have been there for the past 3, but she's also cheated, which proves she cannot be fully trusted. No apology needed. Since my wife got sick, I have been living my life with the express purpose of ensuring my family's future after I'm gone. A lot of people tell me it's morbid, but it's what has motivated me to work, to get out of bed, to force myself to get through each day. I need to know that they'll be okay if I'm not here anymore. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my family that my brother earns less than his wife? My brother, male 32, who we'll call Luke, is a good guy, but he's very lazy. He's always wanted money but never wanted to work for it. His wife, female 30, who we'll call Jane, is awesome. Me and my wife are so happy he's with her because she's just very kind and funny and has become a good friend to us as well as family member, particularly with my wife. She has a high-paying job. She lives in a nice house, buys nice things, have a nice car, etc. My brother has a pretty normal job. He's not very ambitious, and now that he's with her, he's content with that, which is totally fine, by the way. Jane has told my wife a couple times that she doesn't mind paying for everything, but that doesn't like to talk about it in public and get defensive if she mentions anything that she bought when friends or family are present. I've noticed this too. Well, my parents got vaccinated, so we all went there for dinner. It was a great time. At one point, my dad is talking about finances and saving, etc. And my brother mentions the house he bought and the car he bought. Me and my wife are rolling our eyes while Jane looks a little disgruntled. And then at one point he says, yes, we have a simple relationship with money. I make it, she spends it. Like a joke, but joking about the wrong thing if that makes sense, because he's alluding to the fact that this is true. So I say, look, that's a bit unfair. Jane is the breadwinner in your household, and she bought the house and the car, didn't she? He laughs and says, no. So I don't bother after that. He called me later and blasted me saying it was none of my business. And so what if she bought those things? I said he should be a little more appreciative and respectful. We haven't spoken since, and my mom and dad are annoyed that I said it because it made dinner awkward. Edit. Jane appreciated it. Now for the top comments. He brought this on himself when he kept going on about how only he paid for stuff. Normal couples say we bought a house. You just ask for some decency for his wife. Not an a-hole. Agreed. He was a bit of an a-hole then, but that joke makes it far worse. Hope he did the right thing. Not an a-hole. It's one thing to keep quiet about it if it's not something you want to share. It's a completely different thing when you're enjoying the comforts provided to you and then lying about the person providing the comfort by openly saying you're the one doing it all. That's utter BS. Totally not an a-hole. I'm sure Jane appreciated that very much. Not an a-hole, but I really don't understand why Jane is with this a-hole. It's hard now to try and defend him, but he isn't a bad dude. They're together because he's funny, they're charismatic, and actually means well. I think, like all of us, he's just deeply flawed, and this is one of the ugly sides of it. He respects his wife and loves her very much, as does she with him. But he's just a bit of a prickhead sometimes and needs to be told it. There will be no real long-last bad blood. I think it just needed someone to remind him how fortunate he is, and that he should be a little more appreciative and respectful of the fact and life that his wife is able to give him. Not at a-hole. You should let him know that no one ever thinks less of him because of the money he makes. Let him know you only think less of him when he puts his wife down and suggests in front of all of you that she doesn't contribute to the household. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to look after my daughter and telling my husband it was his problem to find babysitting? I, 35 female, changed industries at the beginning of this year and moved from a job where I worked 9 days a fortnight to working 5 days every week. Prior to this, my husband, 36 male, and I had been alternating spending a day during the week looking after our 1-year-old daughter. I told him that I wouldn't be able to do this anymore as I was now working full-time, and we should consider either a nanny or an extra day of childcare. But he said that his mother wouldn't like it, and he'd figure something out. Well, it turns out that the thing he figured out was that I'd be able to start work from home for a few days a week after I'd been at the new job for a few months. So a couple of weeks ago, he went in for work on the day we didn't have childcare and made me look after the baby. After this, I said this couldn't be relied on for this, because work from home means work from home. It doesn't mean work from home while dealing with a 1-year-old. The advantage of work from home was the lack of commute. Anyway, this Friday after work, he tells me that he needs me to look after the baby on Monday while he goes and trains a new employee. I said it doesn't work for me as I have work, and I have a client meeting that morning, so I don't have that much flexibility. He told me it was not feasible for him to take every Monday off, and I had to do it sometimes. And I was like, well, I can't. He then asked me what would make me happy. And I said what would make me happy was going back in time and listening to me when I said we should arrange an extra day of childcare, and it was his decision not to do that. So he should figure out what to do with the baby and stop making it my problem. My husband was furious with me because he thinks I'm not trying to make any compromises and putting my career before this. The way I see it, he's not taking my career seriously and is jeopardizing my reputation for reliability while I'm still in my probation phase in a new job and new industry. My husband works for his parents and has for most of his life, so I don't think he realizes what the norms are for normal employment. So, am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. He created this issue by unilaterally deciding that Monday childcare was out of the question because his mother wouldn't like it. He needs to figure this out on his own. To the extent he asks for help finding childcare for Monday, I'd help, but only after he acknowledged this was a situation of his own making. You're justified in feeling he doesn't respect your career. His behavior here suggests exactly that. He also seems very comfortable making a mess and expecting you to clean it up without acknowledging he made it in the first place. This is troubling. Hold the line and insist this gets sorted out properly to avoid his bad behavior in the future. Not at a-hole. And why does his mother have veto power over your childcare decisions in his mind? But he said that his mother wouldn't like it. Info. Why does his mother's feelings factor into how your kid is taken care of? He is a total mama's boy. I knew this when I married him, and I get along with his mother quite well. Maybe she can come over and help. Anyway, you're not Daehal, and you're right in saying he is not taking your career seriously. However, instead of making it his problem, have another conversation where you discuss a plan which works for the both of you. Additional daycare or nanny, or ask him to ask mommy for help. Both of you decide which option is best, and don't let him wiggle out of this conversation. Not Daehal. Now that he realizes I'm not going to be flexible, we are getting another day of childcare. We had this discussion before I started my new job, but he didn't want her to go an extra day, and figured that I could just look after her while working. And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe.